So it's fall in Florida, and that usually means the arrival of cooler temperatures, lower humidity, and the Maker Faire. If you didn't get a chance to head out there over the weekend, I'm going to share my footage with you and show you an example of some of the technologies and people that were present. Stick around. Alright, so here we are. It's that time of year again. The Central Florida Maker Faire is present. Last year it didn't really happen. This year there were lots of neat stuff there. I took the opportunity to go down there, capture some video. I'm going to share that with you. If you've never been to one, it's kind of a neat opportunity to meet the people in your community, some of the technologies that they're working on and things they're making, along with some bot fights and EDC stuff and all sorts of cool stuff. So with that, we're going to dive in, look at some of the footage, and I'm just going to narrate some of the stuff I saw. Enjoy. As we enter the event, we're greeted by the icon of makerspaces and maker events across the nation, Makey. We dive right into the Orlando Retro Computer Group, some of my favorite retro programming platforms. You're probably familiar with them and you've seen them around. The Commodore CBMs, Ataris, 800, 400, all great stuff. Really bringing back the memories as you stroll through these different platforms and environments. PET CBM 2001 and a few different Apple computers. I didn't mess around too much with Apples other than like 6502 2Es. There's also some Arduino kits. This is like a electronic maker kit on steroids. They support Arduino, Raspberry Pi. They're very versatile and flexible. They have it's a really great platform to learn how to program. 4-Bit Industries was there. They have electronic projects to teach your kids how to build metal detectors or Christmas tree, LED Christmas trees, and all sorts of fun stuff. They're purpose-built project kits, and they lower the bar to entry and learning electronics with soldering and components and all that fun stuff. So it's a good thing. Before we get too far, electronic projects always start with good circuit designs, and for that I rely on Altium Designer. From simple to complex, if you haven't taken a chance to download a free copy and see what you're missing, I've put links in the description, and with Altium Designer, creating these complex projects is a piece of cake. Through your development, you'll be empowered to do your best work as you grow into its more advanced capabilities. The link in the description below will allow you a free trial version of the software so that you can check it out and see what enterprise class ECAD feels like. Now back to the overview. Boca Bearing was there with some of their refined prototypes. They had some really cool examples of how they leverage bearings in their prototypes, as well as a lot of documentation and lookup tables. They also created this makeshift pinball machine, which included a lot of their bearings. A little bit rough, but a great concept. So very cool.
Shared on YouTube.
Tampa Hackerspace was there. Hackerspace is generally an area where you can subscribe and go use their tools on a monthly basis for a set fee. They had lasers and CNCs and 3D printers and the usual stuff. So a great opportunity for people to use tools that they don't often have or can afford. Lots of examples of the products and things that they've made in their hackerspace, makerspace. Really cool. This Tampa Deep Sea Explorers also had some examples of some really great prototypes, robots. I'm not sure if that was from the hackerspace or the Deep Sea Explorers. Obviously that submarine there is the Deep Sea Explorers, which is a prototype that they use to drive into the sea and get visuals. We also ran into Chipscapes. These guys have original circuits from 1948, IBM 701 calculator, 1950s IBM NORAD circuit, all sorts of really neat stuff. And in a lot of their other products, they take these chips or wafers and components, and they'll take high-resolution macro photography of them and use them like this in layouts and shadow boxes to really frame and articulate the work in a way that you probably have never seen it. Some really neat artistic and crafty shadow boxes. Lots of people doing different things. Great Scott Designs. This is basically a V-carve CNC, and he has a process treatment where he colorizes it.
I know you don't
looks
want to
really
be
great. Really looks almost handmade. Skycraft Surplus, you can't have a Maker Faire without them. They're a local supply store. And of course, micro drones. You got to have something for the kids to do, and it's a great opportunity, a safe environment to learn how to fly drones. And they had small racetracks. Steampunk. Who doesn't need steampunk? Leather crafts, from anything from bracelets to wallets to everything. And most of these makers are there actually performing the work. And Dalek builders of Central Florida. Not sure if you're familiar with them, but often many of these folks were working on their projects right there. Robotic dragon, because you can. The technologies, solenoids and servos that go into building something like that. Explanation of the electronics and circuits required to control that. And Astromechs, R2 units. Astro builders of Southern Florida, I believe, were there. So there's lots of variations on the different types of droids they had there. Obviously remote control. And then of course presence at the 501st Legion. Empire Cosplay unit, if you're not familiar. Lots of examples of vacuum forming, 3D printing, resin, cast products. Across the way there's also miniatures and game figures. And they're painting them right there on the scene. So a lot of these folks are just local people, so they didn't really have business names or anything. You can find them on Facebook Marketplace and things like that. Delta printers. I'm always fascinated by the articulating arms on a Delta printer. Large format, and they move relatively quickly. Now, whether or not their hot end can keep up with that is another question. But you can see some of the large format Astromech domes that they can print on there, and even the body to the right of it in yellow. Bot fights, of course, in all classifications, sizes, and shapes. This was the large arena that is showing its age with quite a bit of damage there from the bots. Also, smaller form factors and a smaller enclosure where people could get in on the fun.
Both of these robots, it looks like Terminator has a very good ground clearance, but his weapon's higher up. Chainsaw with 4-wheel drive versus Terminator's 2-wheel drive.
And then they had some big hitters like as seen on TV bots.
Now yield. 30 seconds remain. Now he's just running backwards and then inverted wedge. Oh, the grinding.
There was also some robotic competition teams from different universities around here, and they had their robots on display and just kind of demonstrating their behavior and capabilities.
Cool, thank you.
It's kind of neat to see that. This guy was just messing with me. I'm not sure what their droid did, or they would just pretty much spit this out at you. And so I'm not sure if they had to, what their specific task was. This area you had the dark side with basically light technologies. There's some neat cosplay here, as well as you can see in the background, lots of lasers and RGB. Boom boxes and bicycles with RGB laser matrix on there. This instrument panel, which is just loaded with EO wire and projection mapping, because you can. Also some neat zoetropes here. This is a demonstration of the makey zoetrope, which is really neat to see how it animates in such a complex manner. Just Oak Barrel Arcades, seen them around before. They use like arcades, and then of course good food, barbecue, and barbecue. All right, so that was some of the footage I covered. Maybe I only captured 30 to 50% of it. There was a lot of other stuff going on that happened at different times during the day. And I really didn't stick around too long to see every event, but I saw all the cool stuff, and it was a neat opportunity to kind of reach out, attend it, see some of the people from your neighborhood, the technologies they're working on and the stuff that they're selling. A lot of makers brought their own products there, and so you saw a lot of that stuff being sold, as well as the application of new technologies. And everything STEM is always cool to me. Thought it might be interesting to share with you if you've never been to one. You should take the opportunity to attend one in your local area. It's always good support of STEM, and it encourages kids to be creative and get involved in engineering disciplines and faculty. So that's all good. And I appreciate you watching until the end of the video. If you like this particular video, give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you care. If you're new to the channel, then please subscribe. It helps support the development and sharing of all this content. Ring that notification bell. It'll keep you informed on future updates. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the Central Florida Maker Faire. In the meantime, be safe, have fun, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. It's how we're building the community. Also allow me to bring better content. Also check me out on these other social networks. There's lots of cool stuff there too.